I don't know where all this corn come from, do you? Lordy, 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 corn, corn, corn. There's one thing about it. There's lots of corn here. I thought that I was not going to have no corn. This corn even blowed to the ground. And believe me when I tell you that it's one of the best corn crops I've had. I'll break that one over right there. Yeah, lots of corn. You get back in this same row, we'll go out there and see how long it takes to fill another bucket. You don't have to go far to fill one, I'll tell you, you don't. It's amazing. It is simply amazing at the production that this corn has give. A real blessing in disguise. My goodness. Some of this is blowed over. And I might be able to salvage a little of it. Because I know that it was pollinated before it blew over. No. Actually, yeah, it was. It was. Because this happened after it blowed over one time, stood back up. Yes, sir. It is simply amazing. That's a nubbin. A nubbin, they call them. Yeah. Yes, sir. It don't matter if it's, once it gets pollinated, I don't imagine that it matters if it's on the ground or not. This might tell us a different story when we start shucking it. We're about to get it. My goodness. At the corn. I have never grown so much corn in such a small area. I could have swore I heard one fall to the ground. Maybe I didn't. Corn, corn. Yes, sir. Love that corn. Steph said she just wanted about as much as we done the first time. So I think that's 3 buckets full. I think it is. Let's go get another one. Be right back. Yeah, there's that ear I dropped. I knowed I heard one hit the floor. I'm just picking the biggest ones. And there's a lot of secondary ears that I'm not even picking that will come on. I would assume if the worms don't finish them up. And that is the truth. Just getting the biggest ones today. And as I come to them, I'm trying to not take any of the secondary ears. Give them time to keep maturing a little if they're going to. I think some of these I'm getting is secondaries too, is what I'm thinking. Now here's where a lot of them blow down. I need to try to salvage some of those. That's what I'm gonna do. If I can. I'm gonna try to. 3 buckets. And they ain't even started. They ain't even started across this patch. I ain't got close to the end. My old back's done hurting. Whew. I'm just a little over halfway. Well, maybe a little further than that. Lord have mercy. It's gone. Yes, sir, it's calm. Now this is that first that I got a worm. Just take your knife, whack that right off. I just lay it right there and lay my knife right there. I mean, my goodness. It's calm, brother. Calm. Lots of worms gonna be in this, I'd say. Maybe not, who knows? Yep, there's one with the worm. Don't let that put you off. Don't let them worms scare you. Once you cut that off and you'll never know there's a worm there. There's some, they all ain't got them. They all ain't got them. A lot of them do. Yeah, it's just got a little place there. Just cut it off. No big deal. A lot of times that end don't break off. I'll just whack that off there. This has got a worm, a worm, a spot where a worm's at. You can see right there. See that right there? Where just go right to the lowest point there and cut that off. And there's no sign of a worm. I'll just be honest, I'm kind of shocked that it ain't worse than what it is, worm-wise. That 40-something degree night, man, it may have scared them worms. Now what I'll do here, I'll go ahead and chuck a few more here. And you see me pick that knife up and cut that corn. What I'm doing is cutting the ends of this off where there's a little worm damage on the ends. Of course, them worms will be right on the ends 9 times out of 10. Now here's one. There's no damage whatsoever. Just didn't pollinate all the way out to the end. I planted 4 patches. You've heard me say this, you're sick of it probably. But I planted 4 patches of corn, sweet corn this year. And the 3 of them was in this garden, but there's separate patches. And all 4 of them blowed down. This last one that I'm gathering this corn off of was the last patch that I planted. And when it blowed down, it was just about 3 feet tall. And it's like I said, I was almost at the point of just bush hogging every bit of it in. But I didn't. In this patch right here, and there's 7 rows. 7 rows of this incredible sweet corn. And it has outperformed. It's the best crop I've ever had of sweet corn. Believe me, it's made up for the loss. It has made up for the loss. And it's had a lot going again it there, the corn has. So I guess the moral of the story is don't never throw the towel in. Just keep a digging, keep a hoping, keep expecting it. And sure enough, sometimes it works out for the better. You know, the thing of it is, of course, I'd had plenty of corn to give people. And if all 4 of them had come in. But, and probably will anyway. That wasn't no worm, that was just hadn't pollinated to the end. This is a worm. The one thing about that I'm noticing here, I'll show you the next one I come across. I showed you in a previous video those little worms that was in this. And you can just spin that corn around. I'll see if I can't find one. I'll see if I can't find you one. Of course, if you was, I'll try a couple more. If I can, I'll just have to show you when I come across one. I'll be here looking all day. If that's something, there it is. That's not what I want to show you though. I've noticed, I'll just tell you, some of this corn, on the ends, I've got to noticing where the worm would be, right on the tip. I've noticed that these little holes drilled in the corn. And what I'm thinking is that caterpillar, that corn worm, or whatever you call them, I don't know the proper word for them. I'm not too worried about it. But I think it gets so big, and I think they bore out. They leave out. Well, if they're gone, they ain't eating, are they? So it might. I've noticed a lot of these. I see the worm damage. What got me to looking, other than the hole, is I see the corn damage a little bit on the corn, but I don't see any worm. No worm. Occasionally. It's like I say, you cut that off, you've see, there's damage, worm damage, but there's no worm. I guess they ate all they wanted and stopped. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shut that camera off. No need to let it run through this whole process. And when I get almost done, I'll turn it back on there. All right. All right. Whew. Yes, sir. See you in a minute or two. I'm about to get there. I ain't keeping that one. That one didn't suit me. See these little spots in that? We give that to the pigs. I ain't having it. If it's beyond the end of that corn, it goes in the pig pie. Now you can see we're getting into some here secondary, and they just didn't get pollinated good. You can see this half of that corn got pollinated. That's what happens a lot of times. Of course, we had schmut on the tassels, and a lot of times that can interfere with the pollination of the corn. And then you get one like this that's perfect. That's all right, but I mean it's just a nubbin, whatever you want to call it. A nubbin. That's no good. That was a secondary too. This one didn't get pollinated all the way, or did it? No, a little on the end there. If a person had sprayed this, put a little permethrin on the silk at the proper time, wouldn't have none of this. Wouldn't have no worms. But it's just one of them things. When it's laying on the ground trying to straighten up, it's hard to spray it, ain't it? I'm thinking that some of this got crossed with the golden queen. That's what I'm thinking. Your little ones, nubbins, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's corn, and it's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Some down on the side. We'll let the pigs have that one. Because all these shucks I pull off here, I load back up with a dingo and take the hogs. They like it, and they sure like it if they can run across a good ear of corn every once in a while. Yes, sir. Now here's one that I was telling you. It's got a hole in it. Now let's see what's in there. Yeah, you can see. I'll pull that down and let me go all the way around. And you can look and you see where worm damage is at right there in the end of that, but there is no worm. So I think what's happened, the worms growed, matured, and then cut right out the side of that, and left the ear of corn, which is perfect as far as I'm concerned. All right, let me clean the worst of this stuff out so it won't be stopping those little holes up that I've unstopped years ago. You're right. Procrastination at its best. You want to wash all this silks and stuff off that comes off your corn as fast as you can, that gets all over your table and everything, because that stuff dries with that sugars and stuff in it. It's like crazy glue. Right here. Let me get this out there. That drain. While that's draining, I'm gonna see that big fresh ear of corn that I'm absolutely stunned that that survived. Stunned that it did. And what I like to do too is I twist that around and round and round and round like that, and that removes about 99% of the silk. Meanwhile, it's like sugar, literally sweet as sugar. Whew. It's a sugar rush. I'm telling you. That stuff's too sweet to eat. Too sweet to eat. This is the kettle that I cook it in. Yeah, this is one that I'm not gonna set that on there, or it's got black soot all over it. And if it's got black soot on it, I'll put it in the bucket and then pour it in there and I get it over there. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna rest a minute. What I'm gonna do. Whew, goodness gracious. From here over is the second. Well, actually, it happened about the same time, but one crop over there, one crop of corn here, one crop over there. This was the last one. And this one give us all the corn we'd possibly need. What are you doing, Steph? It's right here. This right here removes the silt and cleans it a little more too. If there's anything on it, it gets it off. Makes it a lot easier and simpler when you get in the house, start processing. Takes just a minute or two to do this. Definitely worth doing. Why would anybody want to do this? Why? You can go buy it cheaper and you can plant it and raise it. You can. But if it ever comes a time that you need to grow it, you won't be able to buy it. And then, that horsefly is a booger. And I see you. I see you. I'm going to try to get you. I'm going to try to get you. If you just hold still, I'm going to come over and get you. Because I despise you. And I'm going to try to get you. And I know you know what, I know you see me. But the thing of it is, you can't see me now. Missed him. Figured I would. That devil landed on my back and bit a hump right through this shirt. They bite you right through your shirt. If you think they can't, you ain't never met a horsefly. I ain't gonna say that. It had a bad spot in it. Dog, he don't know when to hush. He just wants to keep a barking. You know, it's like I said, you can go out and take your money that you've made, earned, and go buy a corn. Feel good about yourself when you do that, because you help the farmer. There's more people eating food today in America than they are farmers that's growing it. So I'm not a farmer. My son is. I'm not. He knows a lot more about the stuff than I do. But you've got to be able to produce your own food sometimes. There's that devil back. Yeah, you made a mistake that time, didn't you, boy? You ain't getting out of there. You just keep a flopping around there. I'll show you if you don't get away. Fly off in a minute. Nah, I don't think you will. Show you what a horsefly is. Let me get this one run done here. 4 or 5 more. Whoop! He went right through that dang hole. He went right through that dang hole. Washed right through that hole. Come here. You ain't going nowhere, big boy. Now, now don't do that again. Well, I'm determined to let him go, ain't I? Right here. People. Right here. See there? That's a horsefly. He will bite the dickens out of you, and he can bite you right through your shirt. But this particular one right here, I'm going to lay him on the ground there, and I'm going to put my foot on him and give it just a little twist like that. Now, hopefully, his soulmate won't be back around, or he'll get a little dose of the same. And can you believe that? He's here. About the time I said that, one flew right by me. But it wasn't the one that what are you doing? It wasn't the one that got stomped. That don't mean he won't sneak up and give me another big bite. I remember going to the lakes when I was a kid. We'd water ski, and them devils, while you was out in the water in the lake, would land on you, and they'd bite a chunk out of you. Yes, sir, they would. Just like I say, twisting that like that, it twists that silk right off her. And then you don't have to listen to your wife throw a fit because she's having fat silk. No, she just takes it off and don't say nothing. But it's a lot easier for me to do it out here than it is for her to do it in the house. So try to do something like it a little easier on somebody, do it. That's the way I see it. Yeah, it's always easier. I'll get right back on it again. It's always easier to go buy your stuff than it is to produce it. It sure is. I'm thinking those days is winding down now. No, I don't think they are. I know they are. Of course, it probably won't be in my lifetime, but it could be. That I don't know. I won't get into it. I don't like to talk about stuff that I ain't 100% sure of. And of course, even at that rate, you really don't know if you're exactly right or not. These people that's dogmatic and they know it all, they don't know nothing. I mean, they do know something, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're crazy. I'm saying take Google away from them and their telephone, and it'd be like talking to a grade schooler. Elementary schooler, I guess. How about a kindergartner? They know a little, but they're so reliant, and their brain's been tuned in, and they're relying so much on a computer, a phone, and Google it, so that their memory, they can't retain very much. They can't retain what they've learned because they don't have to. And I find myself doing the same thing. Stuff that normally, once you learn, you'd try to retain that. Now you don't even give it a second thought because you take it for granted that you can just go right back to the internet anytime you want to and Google whatever your information you want, or AI, or whatever you want to call it. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how long it'll last. I know one thing. They said don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your trust in the internet, because things can happen. The electric can go out. Really. Bending over like this just destroys my back. After a few minutes, whew, gets to burning like fire. One more. Now, what I'll do is I'll take my corn in a minute and then I'll go cook it over there on a gas burner on the porch. I'll sit down here just a minute, let that drain. Whew. So there's, I'm going to say, let's see, that's easy a cannon. That will be 14, 19, 18 or 19, maybe 20 quarts in a quart jar, canned, this corn. We're canning a lot of it this year. We've got a lot of pros, and we're freezing some along too. Most of it is going in the jar. We're going to can it. So this, like I said, I'll get this and go can it. I just wanted to show you what this corn was doing, and it's really surprised me. And if you've never tried any of that corn, it's called Incredible, and it's good. It's this other was Golden Queen, and I like Golden Queen too. I like it, but this stuff right here, to me, is half again or twice as sweet. I wasn't gonna show you this, but why not? Why not? Whew. Why not? I don't see a better use in it and not doing it. No, sir, I don't. Lots of corn. Right there we go. And then I'm going to turn this to speed things up. Up a little. And then I'll take this lid and put that on there. And I'll take the lid off this canner and set over this other bucket of corn. That's the way she rolls right there. You can see some corn that we've already got canned there. We canned the other day. I forget, let's see, 21, I think. All right, when she gets to boiling, we'll turn it back on. Woo! Okay, we'll give it about 10 minutes. That'll take care of that. We'll be back. All right, I think that's boiled enough. We'll shut this off. And then I'll go ahead and take this nozzle off of this hose. And I'll show you. You might be able to see it. I don't know what I do with this corn. I take it right over here. And I set it right on the edge right there. And then I take this hose. Well, I'm going to set it on down because I don't want it running back onto the porch right now. But I set this corn down and take this hose and I stop that corn from cooking. I put that right down in there. Let me wash this porch off, no black stuff. And I just put that hose in there and let it run a minute. Yeah, just let that run. And it'll cool that corn, that water down. It's already cooling it down. And then you can feel of it. Yeah, it's already cooled down. I'll let it run a few more minutes, seconds, or whatever you want to call it. Now what that's doing also is any silk that's left on here is getting washed off. Washed out, you know, which there shouldn't be much left. And then I'll take these, I shouldn't even need them mitts, let's see. Now, I'll set it right back up here on the edge of the porch and I'll tilt that over. I'm gonna drain all that water out. And then what we'll do is fill it right back up with cold water. And then this right here will, it'll pull the rest of it, not all of it, but about 95% of the heat will be transferred out of that corn into that water. And then we'll take this batch in and for Stephanie to process it. I'll bring it right back out here and then we'll fill that that right back up and cook the second batch. And the thing of it is, I can't get by without trying a little of that corn after it's cooked. That little one. We'll try that little one. Just right. If you cook this corn too long, keep cooking it. I think you start cooking the cob, you get that cobby taste in the corn. I don't like that. Found her on corn. So that water, see, is warm. It's warm. It pull that heat out of that corn, most of it. Now, I'll dump this water out. And of course, naturally, I've got to dump a piece of corn out with it. Okay. Now I'll take this in, dump it in the sink, and we'll be ready to start the other one. I'll be right back. We'll fire our burner back up. About like that, that's plenty. And then, before I dump that corn in, because I know that's going to get hot quick, we'll put a little water in there, about that much. And then I'll go ahead and dump the rest of my corn in there. Yes, sir. There you go. And then rinse this out. Do it as you come to it there. Set that back there. Set the lid back down on it, and then we'll just fill that right on up. And we'll be starting round 2. Now we could do more. Just keep we could just keep doing corn today, but we ain't no big hurry now, are we? That ought to be plenty right there. That way it won't be a boiling over next time. Okay. Now we'll put the lid on it and just let it roll. I'm gonna feed the goldfish just a little bit. They like food too, don't they? That cat, get away. Let's see. Don't know how many's left. 15 or 16. We'll be back when that one gets done. Okay, this is round 2 here. She's a boiling. It's boiled enough. Round 2. I'll just leave. Now I'll set it down here. I like to set it down on the ground the first round. Let that old heat and stuff ball run off. Just like I said, I just put that thing down in there again. Let that run. And what that does, that forces that heat out of the bottom of that up. Let it run a few minutes. This is how we do our corn. Now the thing of it is, you could, instead of doing it like we're doing it, because I boil this out here, and then cool it down, and then we take it in the house, put it in the sink, and Stephanie takes a filleting knife and fillets that corn off of that. Easy, simple, quick. And then we put it in quart jars, bring it back out here, and put it in this canner, and we can can 14 quarts at a time. We pressure can it. And what I do is I pressure can it there in that canner for 55 minutes. And some people say, oh, it don't take but 20, and it don't take but it takes mine 55 minutes. That's what I do it, and that's what I'll continue to do it, And a few more minutes longer ain't no big deal. I'm just showing you what I do here. You do what you want to do. I've done it this way for years, so. And it works. Ain't no need to change. What was it said? It said, when you find the truth, seek no further truth. When you find something that works, why change it? No sense in it, are they? Okay, now that's cooled off enough that I can oh my goodness, what's the matter with you, boy? Get in there. I'll set her right back up here like that, tilt it, pour all that water out. Yeah. Set her right there, because inside that cob is still hot. And we want to pull that heat out as fast as we can. Because I don't want Stephanie to burn her hands in there, number one. Number two, when it's cooked enough. When it's cooked enough, right? I have to try at least one out of every batch, don't I? And I don't want a big one. I'm looking for a little one, because I'm about full of corn. Well, that ain't no little one, but it's good enough. Mm-hmm. Now, when you get down to that cob, that heat comes back. Mm-hmm. You know, when I'm eating this, I can't taste them cornworms at all. That's because they're not on there. Now, okay, she's warmed up there. And now, I'll pour that water off. And then we'll take this one in the house and dump it. And I'll be right back. I'll rinse that off and put the lid on it. And then we'll set this one up. I done rinsed it the other day. We'll set it on there and put this one over here. And we will be ready to pressure can that after a while. And I won't show you that. That's just an old pressure canner jiggling. I'll let you go. That's the little process we go through. All right, that'll be it.